Now with your white pencil, you can go into some of these shadows and get what's called some reflected light. These reflected lights help separate one thing from another if they've gotten lost, and it's quite easy for things to get lost. So now I'm going to lighten the whole top of this because I didn't want this to be dark. But before I do, I should really put some vertical reflections and in the gray. That'll help set it up. And I should put some vertical reflections in gray on the table. I won't do all of these, but you'll know that you can go in and get back some of your distinction between one thing and another. With your white pencil, go in and do that sort of thing. Or your white pen, that works as well. But for surfaces, for a whole surface like this, you need your soft white pencil. And here as well, I'll lighten this. I'll go right over my gray marker that I put in, because this, remember, our concept, our visual concept is that this be a light surface. You want to go in and put a white key line just inside the outline of the stainless steel. And be careful, let it dry before you complete this, and you can put in a nice highlight. Now, if you don't have darks on, you're not going to see these highlights. This is another thing that you can do on these lights. Once this is dry, you can put this in. Hopefully it'll be straight. And sometimes one go with that isn't enough. You have to go a couple times, so be patient with it. And here, of course, on the refrigerator, the wine refrigerator, you can do, there isn't, it's really difficult to get in there and do all of that because it's a small piece, but you do what you can. This is chrome up here too, so I don't think that made any difference, but if you can get something to stand out there, that would help. And of course, you're always putting these in, and you put those on your windows as well, although we've kept our windows fairly light. On this, you need to have some vertical reflections as well, so you put those in. The cushion is looking a little bit doughy, so I might go in there and scribble a bit of pattern on it. So you wet it with a lighter marker, and then you dot in a little bit of a darker marker. Set that up. Maybe the napkin has a bit of pattern on it too. And wherever you can, and whatever you've got time for, you go back and claim the reflected lights, things that will set things up, like these little edges here. Break up the shadow, and then you leave it for a time, and then come back and see where else you might want to add some visual interest. These legs are light and they're see-through, so you need to go back and reclaim them after you get all the other things behind them. Put a little dark underneath each. It's good to go systematically. It might be time to go in and put more outline anywhere you think you might need that. So on these legs, after putting all that white in, I need some outline as well. This leg just got a little wobbly. Now once you get your lettering colored in, you'll have to go back and reassess everything. I found that I had to make my wall a little bit darker here at the back in order to make this stand out well enough to compensate for the lettering at the front. Now, if you've made it a little too dark, then you can always go over it with your white pencil and lighten it up. But set everything aside for a day or two if you can, and then go back and reassess and ask that question. I'm still not sure myself whether I've done everything I can do to make the island and the banquette and the table the focus of the drawing. I've just added this little section so you could see everything a little bit in better focus. I've gone in on the range there and put in a little bit of white just around the perimeter to show that light gathers at edges, and that does have dimension, that little part of the range. The lights are part of our focal area. So is the hood. Now the hood, I've put a little rim of light around it. So go back and have a look at that. It's the same rim light that I've put on the refrigerator that you can see. That's very important. Get that in. It won't look like stainless steel unless you do. Now again, that window, both the windows are not important. So they've just been washed over with some number 1 and a little bit of 3. That's it.